Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel, Up the Reds TV with me. So, if you are like me, absolutely bored out of your, I can't really say it at the moment, otherwise I'll get banned from YouTube. But yeah, how boring is it on international break week, or 2 weeks as it is in this case, and we'll have another one round the corner shortly as well. So I thought I'm going to do a couple of videos this week. So the first one is it time to thank FSG? And the second video, it'll come out on possibly Wednesday, and it will be the 6 games in 17 days that the Reds face when they come back from the break. So okay, let's get on with this one, shall we? Is it time to thank FSG? Well, let's look at the bigger picture, shall we? It's nearly 15 years since FSG bought Liverpool. What was it for? 300 million. Not a bad investment if you look at how much the club is worth now. Look, they inherited the club that was divided on all levels, including the supporters, board members. Obviously, they were all against Gillett and Hicks, but the main aim was for those divided packs within the club was that it needed to be saved from Gillett and Hicks, and in came FSG, who came and saved the club, basically. Did they get all the things right when they took over? Certainly not. I remember one of the earliest things that they did was to sell Fernando Torres, but it emerged years later that was a bit of a wise investment to do that at the time, because of what was going on and how much debt the club was carrying at that time. So in the grand scheme of things, that wasn't bad. But although it did focus on some people's minds, including mine, were these another set of cowboys that had come in to take bits and chunks out of the club. Other things that they did was the naming rights fiasco after they won the Champions League, wanting to have a naming rights on Liverpool. That didn't go down very well. The city had existed longer than the club, and to try and trademark Liverpool as a name was one of the most bizarre things that I'd ever heard of. But that's Americans for you. If they can see a buck or a dollar, in our case, pound signs, they would make money from us. I mean, there's also the £77 ticket increase that they were going to put across the board, across Anfield. That led to a walkout in a game. I can't even think who the game was. Was it Southampton or something? Maybe you guys could tell me who that team was. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they walked out. Some supporters, I wouldn't say all of them, walked out in protest. And and then the Super League fiasco in 2021, was it? Banners were being removed by from the Cop by the Spine Cop 1906, and also Spirit of Shankly banners were removed. There were banners. Well, there were, I won't say banners. There were notices put up outside Anfield, and that displayed "Shame on you, rest in peace, LFC 1892 to 2021," and yeah. So after that apology, from John Henry. A supporters board was established after that episode. There are a few other things that raise concerns as well, but they're just a few. So yeah, managerial changes were made. In the first instance when they came in, yes, we had Brendan Rodgers. People say he nearly got it over the line, but he wasn't really. We were never gonna do it because he was lucky that he had Gerrard, Suarez, Sturridge, and Sterling. Those were these players there, but yeah, just couldn't get it over the line. I never really liked him. I never really liked the being Liverpool episode. If you can recall the white envelopes before we played West Brom away in the first game of the season, his first game of the season, and he said the famous words, in these 3 envelopes I have in front of me, they will have your name on. You will let down Liverpool Football Club. You just don't do things like that. Absolutely don't. So then came, was it a marriage made in heaven? It might have been. And in walks Jurgen Klopp, who I'd been sort of like shouting from the rooftops to get him in, get him in, get him in. And it finally happened and turned doubters into believers. And that was it, really. I mean, there were still little things going on in the background that were incensing some supporters about FSG, but they were shrewd American business people, unlike Gillett and Hicks. The plus side was that we've seen Anfield being redeveloped. It's far better than it has been. I mean, we haven't moved the stadium. They've kept it where it is. They could have easily have built a stadium elsewhere in the city, but they decided no, they would revamp Anfield, and that is still an ongoing thing. They're in cahoots with the city council, with the government about rail infrastructure, new road developments. They are buying property around Anfield. You will see a lot of boarded up houses, premises. Those have been bought by a company, I think it might be based in the Isle of Wight, that's connected to Liverpool Football Club. And they're buying up all the buildings. There's a reason why that's happening. And it is to do with the Liverpool Football Club. But we're talking, this is probably 10 years down the line, if you look at the bigger picture for that. So they've increased the club's revenue substantially off the pitch. We're now reaping the rewards for that. In this financial world, they only spend what they make, which is good, sensible business acumen to take. It's like me earning my monthly wage. I know exactly where my money is going and how much money I've got left over before I get paid again, and to what I can use. So it's just simple economics there. Look, they bought the club, as I said, for £300 million, and it's valued at $4 billion. Well, that's the latest estimate. I would imagine after this net spend, the club would be possibly worth a bit more than that, possibly 4.5 to nearly 5 billion. Tottenham Hotspur, their club, is valued at 4 billion, but they haven't got the history of our club. Yes, they've got great training facilities, great stadia, but Liverpool or FSG didn't rest on the laurels. They didn't want an empty stadia during the closed season, and they've been putting on concerts there. I have to admit, I was against it. I did put a tweet out when it was first coming out that there were going to be pop artists, rock legends coming to play at Anfield. I just said, leave it to the football, but then you realise how much money these concerts make for the club. It doesn't go anywhere else. It stays within the club. They did put the club up for sale in 2022. There were suitors out there, mainly from the Middle East. There were possibly other American billionaires who were wanting to take on or take over the project, but FSG decided that they take the club off the market. Now, I've said this on previous videos, and I'll say it again now. The club's still for sale. It'll always be for sale. But what's happened with FSG is they've slightly changed direction by inviting further investors coming into the club and to invest in Liverpool Football Club, not any of the other sports adventures that they are involved in. They'll probably look at investments over there, but purely for Liverpool, and there's more partners that have come on board. And yeah, so should we thank them? Interesting question. The simple answer to that is yes, we should. But what took them so long? What took them so long was the shrewd investment that they've done over the years. They, as I said, they've rebuilt Anfield. The training ground is world class. They're investing £20 million into the academy. They realise that the academy has brought success to the playing side, and it's raised revenue through player sales of 150 to 190 million pounds. And you have to look at that in the in the bigger picture. But the £20 million investment's going on the academy. It costs about £11 million to run the academy a year. Doesn't sound a lot, does it? But with all the teams, all the coaches, so what they're doing is they're building a dome over the main pitch, which will be good. They're having smaller base pitches. The new the artificial pitch is going to be replaced by a new grass pitch. They're upgrading the medical sports science areas. As I said, this is all down to the success of players coming through the ranks. I mean, there's a lot of players, but if I just stick to the ones not so long ago, Kelleher, Bradley, Jones, Elliott, Kwanzaa, Doak. If you remember Nat Phillips, I think he was released by Preston, and he was going off to do a degree in America and try his luck that way. Bobby Clark, Stefan Bajcetic, Alexander Arnold, Dan's recently, Ungamoa coming through, Naoni. So the players that are coming through have been a bit of a lifeline or a stream that that FSG thinks it's really important, and that was really Jurgen Klopp's doing. It was Jurgen Klopp's idea about amalgamating the academy and the first team training facilities together. There's two separate entrances, I'm led to believe, at Kirby, that one for the first team and one for the academy. So yeah, so they're but they are on the same site basically. So yeah, as I say, money has been rolling in. You can look at the two windows, apart from the last one before that, they hardly spent anything. 10 million on Chiesa. They won the Premier League, 75 million. They got around about 89 million pounds from the Champions League last season without winning it. The Adidas deal, 60 million pounds a year deal, kicked in on the first of August. So you can see the money is coming through the coffers, and it's enabled Liverpool to bank up some money. Now, when I say bank up some money, it's, for instance, full profit is made on sales of academy players. Liverpool keep hold of that. I've told you about Liverpool have a credit facility at NatWest of £300 million. That covers the costs of possibly running the club. So again, but people think because we've paid 80 odd million, 120 million, 116 million, that Liverpool give out this money straight away. It doesn't work like that in football. Transfers don't work like that. Liverpool or any other club for that matter don't hold any money like that in their bank accounts. It's, transfer deals are very complex. We as supporters, we're checking our phones every so many minutes throughout the day, saying, when's this transfer going to happen? Why is this taking so long? It is really complex, and we're supporters. We don't run the club, but if we were probably shown how the club works in operations, we'd probably be a bit more relaxed and understanding. But we live in a society, we now want it now, and throw it away when we don't need it, which is a shame, really. But hey, that's what it is. So for me, at the end of the day, yes, it's a big thank you for FSG. Now I understand what took you so long, but I will always, just like everybody else, just keep a close eye on our owners. All in all, it's been a long journey for them as well, not only for us, but we are back on the top table, and FSG want us to stay at the top table for a very long time, and that is good news to my ears. We're back on our perch. We're aiming to stay there. The transfer business that we've done, our net spend is lower than Arsenal's, Chelsea's, Man City's, and even Sunderland for that matter. So you can see that we're heading in the right place. We've got the right people in charge. Grateful that Jurgen came and said what he said. If I don't win the Premier League within 4 years, you can get rid of me. He did that. He won other trophies. The supporters were back in abundance and were a worldwide success. The kit sales, fastest selling shirts when they were released. When we signed Isak, worldwide sales of Liverpool shirts with Isak on the back have paid for his transfer in a roundabout way. So yeah, all in all, it's very good for the Reds, and I'm pleased. But yeah, just like anything else in life, you watch from a distance, but you also keep a close eye on what things are happening at our club. Look, you like this video, please smash us a like, please share the video, please leave your comments below. Is it right that we should be thanking FSG for how they're running the club, and why the coffers have been released as well this season? Do you understand a bit more about it, or have I missed something out? Like I say, give us your comments below, give us a like about the video, and share it. And what I'll do is I'll do another one in a couple of days' time about our 6 games in 17 days, and a bit more lowdown, and speak to you about the Champions League squad, and obviously the Champions League games that are part of that 6 games in 17 days. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Up the Reds.